Good afternoon. Welcome to Nine Business Group and Elevate Chat. We have the pleasure of Paul Hartwright joining us today. Paul, please introduce yourself, your company name, and what makes you guys unique and different.
Right on. Yeah, I founded Mobile Escape with my brother-in-law Eric in 2016, and we launched the following spring in 2017 at Comic-Con. And we are a mobile escape room. So we bring the escape room to you. That's where it all began. We began by building escape rooms in a 30-foot trailer and taking it to various events. And like I said, the first one we did was Comic-Con. But then from there, we ended up spending most of our time in schools and bringing it to the classroom, and makes teachers' lives easier rather than taking students off site. So we teach kids things like critical thinking, problem solving, communication, collaboration, that kind of thing. And to answer the question of what makes us different and what brings people to choose us is we kind of actually have three different sides of our business, and the answer is different for all three. So I'll split it up. But the original side of this business, the unique thing is kind of clear that we bring the escape room to you. So rather than, if it's a team building event, rather than taking people across town, I'll try and coordinate that, or whether it's taking students across town or kids for a birthday party, we eliminate that nuisance of trying to gather people across town for doing an escape room, and make it easy and bring it right to you. And so that can kind of look a few different ways. And our escape rooms in our trailer, where we can set up rooms like in a boardroom, things like that. And that was always a great offering to people until COVID hit, of course. And that's where it's an easy segue to the second side of our business there, which is an escape room in an envelope. And so when COVID shut down the world of escape rooms and we couldn't operate that business anymore, we created a new episode each month that all follows one continuous storyline. And so it's kind of, we've got 12 episodes now that are kind of like an escape room meets TV show meets board game. And so there's other like play at home escape rooms out there as well. But what makes that one unique is its episodic nature. So when COVID hit, there was a bunch of people making, games you could play from home, or like digital and virtual games and that kind of thing. And there are other like physical games that you can play from home as well, but almost all of them are kind of one-off in nature. And so quite unique that there's 12 episodes that all follow one continuous storyline. And it's a mix of both physical and digital gameplay as well, which is a bit unique. And yeah, so that's the second side of the business. And then the third is that we make custom games and creations for various people around North America. And so our one of our distinguishing factors there is our background in education. And so the whole business began by bringing the escape room to schools. And that's where we spend most of our time, teaching students to create escape rooms as well. And so a lot of the games that we've made for other clients, such as AMA, the Alberta Motor Association, they came to us and said, hey, we need something for our trade show. It's got to be fun and engaging and interactive, but we also want to teach people about who we are, what we do. And so we made them a puzzle game that fits on their trade show table, and it's a miniature car, and it's got a flat tire, the battery's dead, their keys are locked inside the car. And so in this process of this 5 to 10 minute game that people can walk up and play at a trade show, all the while having this emotional brand experience where they're having fun, they're also doing the things that the AMA does, changing that flat tire. And when they put on that new flat tire, something falls out the tailpipe, and that allows you to unlock the door, allows you to get the keys. But of course, the battery's dead. So then you have to figure out how to open the hood. You have to figure out how to boost the battery. And so it's a lot of education based things in a lot of the games that we create for other clients. So that would be kind of why someone would choose us, because others can make an escape room too, but we do a great job of weaving in any sort of curriculum, if you will, into the gameplay.
That is super fun. Good for you. In the last 3-4 years since you kind of cooked it up, launched it, what has been the biggest challenge you've overcome since you started in business?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people say this, but it's been COVID. When COVID hit, I remember getting the ping on my phone saying that schools were closed. So 90% of our revenue came from schools prior to the pandemic. So when schools closed, I remember going into QuickBooks the next day and deleting invoice after invoice after invoice. And we were set to have the biggest spring ever for our business, and that was all gone. So we kind of looked at our accounts and saw that we had a couple months before we're going belly up, and so pretty quick we came up with this concept of Escape Mail, and so that's kind of how we overcame it, as we set out to create these 12 episodes. We know people are going to be stuck at home and not able to be doing escape rooms, but people are going to still want that, scratch that itch and be entertained. So we started developing those games, and it took off like we never could have imagined. It actually ended up turning 2020 into our best year ever. We sold copies all around the world. People reached out from the Netherlands as well as Germany to then translate our games and produce and sell them in the Netherlands and Germany as well. So now you can get it in Dutch and German in addition to English. And so that now has ended up being a larger revenue stream for us than the original side of the business. So now that COVID has sort of subsided, the original side of the business is back up and running again as well. But we sort of accidentally stumbled into this other stream. We went from being a very kind of like localized service-based business to a global e-commerce business. I was going to say overnight, but over the span of a month. It was that April of 2020 was huge for us. So that was a very scary time and pretty nerve-wracking. But yeah, thankfully we're able to overcome that with the creation of a new product.
You know what? It's good for you guys. The number of people I've met along the way that have not just turned lemons into lemonade, but almost in a way turned them into golden lemons. And
Yeah.
also, I think it does speak volumes to the ingenuity and creativity. Off script a little bit, how did you market the what do you call it, the escape room in an envelope? How did you get that many people to use it, and how did you reach that many people?
Yeah, well, it honestly, it didn't take much effort. It took off like we couldn't have expected. So we had a mailing list of a couple thousand people. So of course we sent out a couple updates to them. We had, I don't know, maybe 1,000 followers on Facebook at the time, a couple hundred on Instagram. And so, we posted some things there, of course, nothing too special. But then started running just a couple of Facebook ads. And at that time, it was just unbelievable. We, through that whole first 6 months of the pandemic, our conversion rates on those Facebook ads have never been seen again before. We had $2 conversions, which is just unheard of. So yeah, we put a bit of money behind some Facebook ads, and they were getting lots of likes and shares organically. And so pretty quickly it spread across Canada. And then, from there it just sort of trickled into the US. But it was quite a different beast, trying to tap into the US market in a more significant way, which we focused on a lot this year, and have done so successfully, thankfully. But so that's a long answer to social media. That's probably the main way that we got that out.
What is one thing you know now that you wish you would have known when you started in business?
Yeah, there's different ways to answer it. The first one, honestly, though, that came to my mind was how hard it was going to be. That I've worked for other businesses, and I get quite invested, even though it wasn't my own business. And I quite I want to see it succeed, and because it's got my my fingerprints on it, and I want to be proud of what I'm doing. But when push comes to shove, and it's no one cares about your business as much as you do, it can be hard if you want to see that thing succeed. And yeah, I think so that's one. And starting business at the same time as starting a family was was certainly a lot to bite off. But I don't regret it. It's you take some sleepless nights in exchange for where we're at today, and I'd do it again. So we're grateful. But yeah, I think so. Yeah, hardest thing would be, yeah, I just didn't realize how difficult it'd be, how much blood, sweat, and tears goes into it. But thankfully, I guess we're at year 6 now, and it feels a little bit more stable, a little less of the fear, anxiety of what's going to happen. We've come through things like COVID, and we're more stable because of it. But yeah, some of that anxiety that comes around starting a business.
Yeah, I bet. If there was a pirate, a thief in your business, what would they be stealing from you?
Yeah, I think like sometimes, so we park our mobile escape room, our 30-foot trailer, parked at my business partner's house in his backyard, essentially. And he often says how we can't walk past his back window without looking out it to see if the trailer's still there. And it's never been stolen. No one's ever tried to drive away with our trailer. But yeah, I remember there was a while where that was our sole source of income, was that trailer with the escape rooms in it. And the thought of somebody waking up one morning and seeing that thing gone would be pretty troublesome for us. So it still sucks today, but fortunately there's some other streams of revenue for us. But yeah, that would be one. And the other would just be some of our puzzle concepts. We've got all sorts of creative ideas for our puzzles and original content, and we've seen it a little bit. Other people ripping off of our ideas that are clearly our designs, and you fight with, is it worth trying to pursue this legal action, or how big of a deal is it? Is it worth our time and effort? And who knows? And so that'd be the other thing, that if someone was trying to steal something from us, it might be that.
Yeah, that's probably worth noting. What is your definition of a successful business, and has it changed since you started in business? What you thought maybe was going to be success, and now maybe you have a new definition?
Yeah, so I love that question. My business partner and I sat down with a business coach a little over a year ago, and we redefined what it meant for us to be successful. And what came out of that was sustainability. So we had some scary times of things like COVID, but other seasonality, and where revenues aren't where you want them to be, and profitability and kind of things like that. And along comes that anxiety, like I mentioned, and one of the toughest things about starting a business, or things I wish I knew. And so, finding ways to make sure it's sustainable, not just financially, but like for our families as well. And making sure that the work-life balance is reasonable to keep going. And like my family can put up with long days or weeks or certain times a year where they know it's going to be a little more taxing. But if those times bleed over and get bigger and bigger, then it's not sustainable. And so yeah, that's what it came down to being. What mattered most to me was that running this business was sustainable, both itself as well as a part of my life as well, and my family life. So that's how I define success these days.
Well, that's a good definition. I will take that one for sure. Before we close up, what do you want to be known for?
I think just making really cool puzzles. I want people to look back at all 3 sides of our business and say, man, those guys make incredible stuff. Like whether it's a custom made puzzle that we make for someone else and then they use it for whatever purposes they have, I want them to look at that like, yeah, this thing is amazing. It does exactly what we need it to. Or whether it's the escape mail game that people are playing from home. I want people scratching their head like, geez, who comes up with this stuff? This is incredible. And they're like, so, and our tagline is Awaken Wonder. We bring the escape room to you, and our hashtag is Awaken Wonder. And so, yeah, like seeing people eyes wide open, whether it's kids going through our escape room at their school, and just being blown away. And their minds opened and curious. So I'd love to, if Mobile Escape and Escape Mail and Escape Makers if we're known for making just really cool stuff, then I feel like we're winning.
So you want to be known for playing with people's heads.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, playing with their heads, and kind of opening their eyes. You know, it's that's where this tagline "Awaken Wonder" came from. You know, we us adults, we kind of got dulled senses sometimes, and we just kind of drawn through life, and we love seeing people perk up. You know, seeing someone go into the escape room with their arms crossed and they're doing that, and then by the time they come out, it's like, oh, that was awesome, and they're loving it. Like that's the best, and I love seeing. Yeah, it's good for people to smile and laugh, and yeah, their minds being opened is really rewarding.
Very true. So just before we wrap up, then one last plug for your company, Paul. Welcome. You've been a great guest. Where can people get more information on what you do, whether it be a website, a phone number? Let the people know how to track you down and how to book you.
Yeah, absolutely. Mobileescape.ca. Yeah, and from that parent site, you can, if you're interested in custom creations, from there you can click on the custom tab, and that'll show you a portfolio of everything we make for you. And if you're curious in buying the Escape Mail game, you can click shop, and that'll take you over there.
Very cool. Thanks again, and have a great evening and stay warm.
Awesome. Thanks, Kent.
You're welcome.